All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're ready. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today, Monday morning, the 22nd of February, 2021, is officially the premiere of the end of Daft Punk. I can't believe it. Daft Punk is finally broken up after 28 years. Daft Punk is ending. I can't believe it. What a terrible day. What an awful day. The innovators of house music, with huge hits like One More Time. What was that one? Bigger, faster, stronger. So many songs that you might not even realize are Daft Punk. They were so influential to the house music scene. And that's it. It's over. But they did have a good run. 28 years, many great albums, many amazing live performances. They inspired many other musicians. Like, I would directly say Deadmau5, among others, were directly influenced by them. And so, rest in peace to them. Very sorry to hear this. All right. And that's about all that's going on today. Nothing else of any note. So, I hope you're ready to just kind of chill. Very boring day here on stream today. Very commonplace day. Just flubbing around in some games, sucking ass, doing terribly. The usual. All right. Well, anyway, today on stream is the premiere of Divinity Original Sin 2. To give you guys some background on this, because I feel like you might want some background on this. All right. First of all, Divinity Original Sin is a franchise that's been around on PC for a while. It was the first game that came out many years ago as a PC exclusive. And actually, when it came out, people had asked me if I was going to play it. Now, at that point, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't play PC exclusive games very often. And it was very rare when I would actually do anything with them. So, I basically said, no, I'm not playing it. I'm usually just focused on console stuff. And I did not play it. Now, after Divinity, the original Divinity came out, people actually told me I really missed out, that it was one of the better games of that year. A huge amazing RPG, and that I really was basically, skipping one of the best new franchises. And I didn't really care. I'll be honest. I didn't really care. I was a console gamer. Okay? Now, years later, fast forward to, what was it, like 4 years ago, something like that? Divinity Original Sin 2 came out. Okay? And people were like, dude, now you're really missing out. This is the sequel. They've dramatically improved upon the original game. Everything about it is amazing, groundbreaking, one of the best RPGs of all time. A lot of people say it's one of the best RPGs of a decade. And people knowing how much I like RPGs, saying I should play it. I was like, that's great, but it's PC exclusive. This is a problem. My setup, I can't even play high-end games on PC anymore. It just doesn't work. I'm a console gamer. So again, I missed out on Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, eventually, a couple years ago, it was ported to the PlayStation 4. And the funny thing was, not many people asked me for it. I actually thought maybe people would want to see it, being that it was a franchise that I had completely skipped over in my 12 years now as a content creator. The fact that I never played a Divinity game at all when I'm a huge fan of RPGs, people were like, you're really missing out. But no one really wanted it, even when it came out for PlayStation 4. And admittedly, when it came out, it was like, well, it's kind of a non-event. The game's already been out on PC for like 2 years. So, it kind of sucks after the fact trying to play catch-up and missing out on that initial hype of a game that was apparently really good because they decided to make it PC exclusive first before porting it everywhere else. So, last year was certainly an interesting and unique year for many different reasons, as we all know. During the course of last year, I was playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I had another event by which you guys could nominate and vote on a game that would be the next major viewer's choice playthrough. in the midst of me playing an incredibly lengthy RPG like Fire Emblem, you guys picked Divinity Original Sin 2. Okay? Now, I say you guys, but I want to emphasize something here. I want to emphasize how incredibly important it is that when I do a viewer's choice event, that you guys take advantage of it. Because it's an open event. That means anyone can nominate and anyone can vote on the game that will be played in said event. Alright? I think so many people just take it for granted and don't understand the amount of power that they have. Because to give you some perspective here, alright? Less than 100 people nominated games for this event. And I believe it was less than 100 votes. Like, that determined the winner of the event. Now, every day, I have hundreds of people on stream. Every day, I have thousands of people watching my videos on YouTube. And the fact that such a small portion of those people, a small percentile, actually go the extra mile to nominate and vote on these games for viewer's choice is baffling to me. You would think, for someone like me, a full-time streamer here 6 days a week, putting out 12 full gameplay streams a week, hundreds of hours of gameplay, you know, thousands of hours a year, you would think that people would say, man, I got a lot of power to get a viewer's choice playthrough, especially with a game that's a lengthy game. You would think people would step up and they would want to be involved. In reality, it's quite the opposite. Sadly, most people just don't get involved. They want to sit here and complain or tell me on a stream what they want instead of actually doing the nominations and the voting themselves, which is the point of the viewer's choice event, is to get the viewers involved. All right? So what I'm going to say is this. All right? If you have not participated in a viewer's choice event before, but you found yourself upset at the choices of games that have been selected, for example, games such as Donkey Kong 64, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, the Persona series, the Yakuza series, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Super Mario Sunshine. These are all games that have been chosen over the course of time as viewer's choice. If you've ever had an issue with this, you're like, man, I really wish that I feel would have done something different. The power is in your hands. You have the ability to change everything. I'm not even kidding you. Because when you have so few people who are actually determining the fate of the viewer's choice playthrough, every individual counts. This is not like voting for a presidential election where, you know, your vote is like pissing into a giant ocean. This is like, there's 30 people who voted probably for Divinity. So you could have been one of them, or you could have swayed the voting another way. You see what I'm saying? That's how these work. I can't fathom why people don't participate in this process. Because let's give some perspective here. Okay? Last one that I did was Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That was a game that I started, I believe it was May of last year. And that playthrough ran all the way through the summer into August. We didn't finish it, I think, until early September. All right? That's crazy long, right? It was over 80-hour playthrough. Divinity Original Sin 2, by all reports, is also an 80-plus hour playthrough. Okay? Like, people are saying it's just as long, if not longer, than Fire Emblem. Okay? So you have to understand this. You have to understand that you have an overwhelming amount of power when it comes to these viewer's choice events. Please don't take it for granted. Please don't let that power be misused and or ignored. Please participate. Right now, this very moment, there are nominations going on for the next viewer's choice event. That's right, this moment. And this next viewer's choice game likely is going to be played in March. So, please nominate games. Type ! Viewer's choice into the stream chat. Right now. Head over to my forums. Right now. And nominate games that you want to see me play right here on stream. Right now. Do it. I'll pause the stream for 5 minutes for you to go do it. Right now. I really will. It's that important. And then, of course, once we have all the nominations in early March, I'm going to set up the poll. Please vote on the poll. All right? I would love if we could double or triple the amount of people who get involved in this process right now as a result of the fact that here I am playing another lengthy JRPG. And by the way, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's kind of funny that the same kind of thing keeps happening over and over, and then people complain. It's like, well, did you nominate and vote on games for viewer's choice? No. Well, then why are you complaining? The whole point was that it was supposed to be interactive with the viewers. The viewers that did actually interact got what they wanted. So stop complaining if you're not going to participate. Okay? So please do it. All right? No better time than now to take advantage of the power that you have in your hands. Don't ignore it. All right? The power of the vote, especially on my streams, is a very powerful one. Okay? Very good. Okay, so anyway, I digress. Just letting you guys know that yes, you should be able to nominate immediately, and you should take advantage of that. Absolutely, you should take advantage of that. I'm too busy. What? No. You're not too busy. No one is too busy to nominate and then vote. That's a cop-out. I don't ever want to hear that. You're too busy. I'm too busy. I'm more busy than you, and I have time to set these up, track them, and run them. So I don't want to hear you're too busy to do a simple nomination when I'm doing way more behind the scenes. You're full of baloney. I'm tired of your excuses. Work on it now. Do it now. Okay, so anyway, I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the premiere, finally, after all the anticipation of Divinity Original Sin 2. Why would it take so long to start it? Well, it's very simple. Because you guys nominated and then voted on it when I was playing Fire Emblem. I said, there's no way we could play two lengthy RPGs at the same time. I'm a variety streamer. We can't have half my streams being taken up by the exact same kind of game. In addition to that, I knew, all right, I absolutely knew that there was going to be a situation where we were going to be so busy with the new releases coming out in the fall, especially with the release of the new consoles and the like, that I was not going to be able to be playing an insanely long and lengthy JRPG at that time. I'm not stupid, okay? So, that's why I did not play it right away. I knew I was not going to be able to. So, I said, once we finish Fire Emblem and we get through the busy hardcore gaming season, then I will go ahead and I will play Divinity. So, what happened? Well, I finished Fire Emblem. We started up all the games in the fall, right? Some of those games continued and continued and continued and continued. And it literally was not until this last week that we finally completed some of these games so that I could move on and do something new. Finally, we finished Yakuza 7's main campaign. And just this last week, we finished Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Two games that I've been playing since November. Alright? So now that those incredibly lengthy games are done. I say that, but, you know, Yakuza 7 we're still playing, but it's just post-game stuff. So, those games, stories are officially done. It now means we can sit down and play another lengthy game. Okay? So, it's time today to begin Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, what do I know about this game? Not much. All I know is that it's grid-based combat, much like Fire Emblem. That's about all I know. Looking at the packaging, the game looks interesting. It seems like you could play a variety of characters. There's, like, humans, elves, lizard people, a pirate, a freaking guy who has no face. It's just a flaming skull. Like, what is he, Ghost Rider? It's pretty interesting. There's a good variety of characters, it looks like. So, and by the way, it does not appear to be an anime-style game at all. Quite the contrary. It seems like it's more of one of those European-style RPGs, you know, more medieval or gothic, I guess you would call it, rather than, you know, anime-ish. So, it should be a departure from Fire Emblem last year for sure. And I'm excited to see what it is. You know, you guys know I like RPGs. I like great stories. What I'm hoping is that this game has some really good music and graphics and story, you know, some fun combat. If it's insanely long, it's insanely long. We'll take it we'll take it in stride. We'll play it as much as I can in 1 week, maybe 1 to 2 major sessions, at least for now. Of course, guys, what you have to understand is thus. JRPGs, Western RPGs, all RPGs, I love them, but they tend to not really retain an audience. I'm being very honest with you now. I love them, and I would play way more of them if they could retain an audience. They just don't. People prefer action-based games, whether it's a combat-oriented game, like a fighting game or a first-person shooter, whether it's a game like Dark Souls where you just die a million times, whether it's a game like Super Mario Brothers where it's, you know, challenging platforming, you die a million times, people are now, you know, wagering their points and everything on these style of games. Those are the games that tend to have people come out and view. RPGs definitely have an audience, don't get me wrong, and I really appreciate those of you who come out and you watch my RPG playthroughs because they're some of my favorites of all time. But being honest here, sometimes it's like pulling teeth getting people to come back to a stream for these games. Fire Emblem was a very rough one, where it was sometimes I would come and people would just completely just complain the entire time that the game is boring. Why are you playing this again? Like, dude, what are you talking about? It's viewer's choice. I have to do a full playthrough. Like, what do you expect? And the other thing is, sadly, there are people who just tend to come to a stream like this and shit on the game and complain the stream's boring, even though you know exactly what to expect during one of these lengthy RPG streams. It's not going to change. You know what kind of game it's going to be. You know what kind of gameplay it's going to be. So I appreciate all of you who are here for the premiere. I do. I would hope that some of you will get hooked by the game if it's that good, and you'll come back to watch the rest of the playthrough. I hope. If not, that's perfectly fine. But please don't make it your agenda to come back every day and crap on this game. That's not productive for anyone. In fact, I would say that's very counterproductive. Please, if you can, avoid coming here and complaining constantly about it. All right? I do enough variety, trust me. Let me give you some perspective here. In the next week, here's what I'm doing on stream. Yes, I'll be playing Divinity Original Sin 2 a few times. But I'm also doing a couple big streams of Call of Duty. I'm also going to be doing more Super Mario 3D World, possibly finishing the game as well as finishing up Bowser's Fury. I'm going to be finishing up Immortals Phoenix Rising. There's going to be fighting game stuff with Throwback Street Fighter. There's going to be a chill stream of Yakuza 7. Plus, there's a new game premiering this week in Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. That's going to be an incredibly difficult game that's probably going to punish me and destroy me, and you'll be able to laugh at how much I fail. There's a big variety of stuff that I'm doing this week coming up. You don't have to sit here on every single stream of this game and complain that you don't like it. And if you do, I will remove you forcefully and you will not be here anymore. Because I don't need negative influences on my streams, sitting here and crapping on a particular game just because you don't like it. That's fine. Don't come to that stream. Come back when I'm playing a game that you like because there's tons of variety on these streams. Please understand that. Okay? So, I hope you understand. I hope you're excited that this week we're actually getting some good variety of new stuff. And finally moving on from some of the stuff that's been lingering for so damn long, right? No more Assassin's Creed is like, thank God we finally finished it, right? Okay. So, yes, this will be an interesting and epic premiere today. I actually don't really know what to expect outside of just the style of game it is. I don't know anything about the plot or anything, so I'm hoping we get really cool introduction here today. And we get our foothold into the game, 3 to 4 hours of gameplay. Okay? Tonight, the late stream is Fall Guys Fun. My last consecutive stream of the week after being here, streaming games for you 6 straight days. We ended all with Fall Guys again, 3rd straight week I'm playing this. I'm sure people will be doing many wagers with their channel points during the course of the stream. And we'll see how it goes. If it's still fun, you guys are really liking it, I'll keep doing it. But if we feel it's overstayed, it's welcome. It could be the last Fall Guys stream. I guess we're going to see what happens. All right? All right. I'm not here tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day off for the week. I'll be grocery shopping. I'll be getting supplies for Jasper, who's very low on cat food. We're doing a lot of various things during the day. I'm finally getting some food with my wife that's not homemade for the first day in a week. Not sure what we're doing yet. We're going to talk about that. But it'll be a busy day for me. Okay, I'll be back on Wednesday with more Divinity on the first stream. But the late stream will actually be Call of Duty. Okay? Thursday. The major gameplay stream on Thursday is going to be I don't remember. I'm looking it up right now. It's going to be... Oh, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrections, the new game. Right, comes out on Thursday on the Switch. Alright? Thursday night will be my weekly Yakuza 7 post-game grinding chill stream. Yes, we're still grinding probably 1 to 2 more sessions until finally I feel that we're high enough level that we can take on the final Super Dungeon. I hope you join me for that on Thursday. Friday, Super Mario 3D World will continue on the main gameplay stream, which has gotten way more difficult because now we're in the post-game optional worlds. We're in Star World right now. Apparently, there's still more stuff to do after this. And Street Fighter. Friday night, my weekly Throwback Street Fighter stream. Okay? Saturday will be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War as a major stream. And Saturday night will be the conclusion of Bowser's Fury. Then on Sunday, Divinity Original Sin 2 will have another major stream, and I'll pair that with Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. So that is your rough schedule for the week. Yes, those things could change on the fly. If needed. Okay? But it should be a great week. I'm excited for this coming week. I hope you guys are too. Alright? Should be a great time. Good variety of stuff with that stuff that I'm just mentioning. Okay? Alright, so that's the schedule for the week. Now, I've already mentioned your ability to nominate games for the upcoming Viewer's Choice event. Please take advantage of that power, and please do so. But in addition, there's an Ask the King episode coming up the first week of March. That is my Q&A show where I answer your questions directly in a setting where it's just Q&A, no gameplay. I urge you to submit your questions now. When you submit your questions ahead of time, there's an incredibly increased chance those questions will be answered during that event. All right? If you just wait till the day of Ask the King, and I'm reviewing questions on my social media, or I'm pulling questions out of the stream chat, there's an incredibly decreased chance that I'll actually give your question a read. But if you submit it early, I will review all those questions and pick the ones that I feel are the best, so please do so. You do that by typing ! Ask the King into the stream chat, all right? So please do so, and thank you to those who do in advance. I appreciate that. Okay. Outside of all that, there's not much going on. It's kind of funny because yesterday was technically the actual 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. And Nintendo did absolutely nothing for it. They did not give two shits about it. They really didn't. They let it pass. They didn't commemorate it. Nothing. Nobody. They didn't care. Basically, people on social media kind of commemorated themselves on what they felt about Zelda. It was actually pretty sad that there was nothing on the 35th anniversary. Personally, there was something that was posted up on Twitter about what was the first game in the Zelda series you ever played, and what's your favorite game in the Zelda series. And my response is that they're both the same. The first Zelda game I ever played, in my opinion, the game that is my favorite, is Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. It was one of the earliest games I played on the Super Nintendo, along with Super Mario World, and that game will resonate and stay with me forever. It seriously will. It's got some of the best music ever, top-down gameplay. It's just classic to me. I could play that game a million times and never get bored with it. Much like Super Mario World, seriously. Two of my favorites of all time. Now, the funny thing is, some people were like, well, what about the original two Zelda games? And the truth is, I never played them. I knew of them. I saw them in stores. My cousin owned them and played them, and I watched him play them a few times. But I never actually played the original Zeldas. In fact, I think I maybe rented one of them once and played it on NES once. And later on, wasn't there that collection of mini games, of Nintendo mini games, where you have to do little mini things, and Zelda was part of that, and I played that. But I never played the original Zelda games at any length at all. Yeah. So, it really was A Link to the Past. That was my first, exposure and immersion to actually playing the Zelda franchise. And that game was so good, man. I seriously, I still look back to that day. You gotta realize something. When the Super Nintendo was released, you could either play amazing arcade games in arcades that had great graphics and music, but you had to keep pumping quarters into them. And none of them were lengthy experiences at the time. Most of them were either beat 'em up games or driving games, you know, nothing too complex. Home games were very limited. You know, look at, you know, NES and stuff like that. The graphics were not good. They were very limited to what they could do, and it was a rarity when you actually got a game like a Mario game where the graphics and music were actually outstanding because so much production value went into it. When the Super Nintendo came out, all of that changed. Okay? It really did. It changed everything for me. I wanted to play so many games at home because they looked amazing. They sounded amazing. And when I played Zelda Link to the Past, like, my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe that this kind of an experience with this much content, this much of an open world existed. You know, most games that I had played up to that point were very linear. And to have a game that had an open world you can explore and figure stuff out, puzzles and secrets, it was amazing to me. So, really, I actually feel Legend of Zelda Link to the Past kind of started my interest in RPGs in general, and it was really my first open world game I ever played in my life. It was. So that's why it will always hold a special place in my heart, and it will always likely be my favorite Zelda game, even if so many great ones come out. I don't know how they're going to top that. I don't think to this day a single Zelda game has topped how much I like A Link to the Past. And by the way, I have A Link Between Worlds. I own it, but I never played it. I only played it one time. I couldn't even tell you when it was. I know one time I was flying somewhere, and I brought my 3DS with me on the plane, and I think I played Link Between Worlds for about 3 to 4 hours on this giant plane ride that I went on. I couldn't tell you when it was. I have no recollection of what trip it was or anything. I just know that I remember playing it on the plane and I enjoyed it, and I never went back to it. So, maybe one day, I'll play it and do a playthrough with you guys. But outside of that, yeah, Zelda Link to the Past. So, happy anniversary, Zelda. Sorry, Nintendo apparently doesn't care. Doesn't really give two shits. They didn't even post anything in commemoration. They're like, fuck it. So, it is what it is, I guess. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I am an independent content creator. That means I do not have any sponsorships with any company to shill a product to you. I do not have any exclusive partnership with any streaming service to stream on there and make money every time I turn on a stream. I basically don't have any kind of way to make money behind the scenes. I don't. I am independent, which means when I have a stream, I can tell you truthfully how I'm feeling about what I'm saying and doing, whatever's going on with the game. It's going to be 100% the truth. I don't have to worry about a sponsor dropping me because I said the wrong thing. I don't have to worry about violating a non-disclosure agreement because I'm somehow being exclusively paid to play a game behind the scenes like a lot of these top streamers are. I hate to say it, but these top guys and gals are just paid advertisements. And people don't realize that because they're ignorant. They don't understand how the industry works now. All right? They made it to the top because they're paid shills. It's that simple. Okay? I don't play that game. I never have. I never will. I want to be independent. I want to be someone who you can rely on to be honest and truthful and forthwith with you about my honest reactions to what's going on during a game. All right? But because I don't have any of these industry ties and because I don't have any industry contracts, it means that I rely on crowdfunding to make a living. I absolutely love what I do for a living. I love coming to stream every day and hanging out with you guys and having a good time. It's so amazing. It's the best job I've ever had, and I want to keep doing it for as long as I possibly can because I love it so much. But the only reason I'm able to do it is because of you guys and your support. You come out, you hang out with me, you interact with me, you support the streams through various methods, and that allows me to continue to enjoy streaming with all of you. And I want to say thank you up front to anyone who has contributed or considering contributing in the future. You guys are amazing. You guys changed my life. You guys are a reason why I love what I do. Okay? Now, all that being said, please understand something up front. My streams are completely free here on Twitch TV. Contributions are not mandatory on my streams. Contributions are not expected on my streams. I consider it going above and beyond being just a standard stream viewer if you do contribute to the streams. And I want you to understand this something. I don't ever want anyone to feel bad if they cannot play, they cannot contribute, is what I meant to say, during a stream, or if they feel like their contribution isn't enough. I actually had a few people in the last week who contributed and were like, I'm sorry it's so small. I was like, that is completely the wrong attitude to have. You have to understand something. First of all, when it comes to crowdfunding, every little bit helps. It's not about one person coming and giving you some kind of a ginormous contribution, although every once in a while that may happen. It's about everyone giving a little and that adding up to be enough to keep me going and allow me to make a living doing this. Okay? But in addition to that, no one should ever feel bad that they can't contribute. My streams are free. Everyone's allowed to come here and just chill and have a good time. That's the whole point of what I'm doing. I'm not doing this to make a paycheck. I'm not one of these fucking paid chill streamers who's sitting here just trying to put on a stream to make money for you and not caring about what kind of content I'm putting out. Okay? I hope you guys know that when it comes to me and other people, that's the main difference. All right? I made YouTube videos for 2.5 years before I ever monetized a single piece of gameplay content because I loved doing it, not because I was trying to make a name for myself or make money doing it. Okay? I only ever started making money doing this when I lost my job. And I fell into it inadvertently because there was nowhere else to go. It was kind of like the only thing I had to fall back on. And thank God I actually found a way to make money doing it. Right? And that was over 10 years ago. So, pretty crazy how things work out. Here we are, 2021. And I'm enjoying life. Having a good life behind the scenes. I'm loving my streams. Everything's good. Right? Everything's going good. So, thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to enjoy my life. Alright? But my point I'm making is, if you can contribute, of course, by all means, please do. This is how I make my living. But if you can't, it's not a big deal. Don't feel bad. All right? Now, since we just talked about it at length, let's talk about how you can actually contribute. You can either cheer with bits. You can subscribe to my channel here on Twitch. You can gift a subscription to someone else here on Twitch. Or you could tip me. All these ways are great methods by which you can contribute. I make it my agenda to try to give a shout out to every single person who contributes, unless I feel that it's someone who's actually trying to, like, break the rules, or someone who's trying to get me to say something stupid. You know what I mean? Someone who's trying to actively derail and or get me in trouble. No, I'm not going to read those. But outside of that, people who are, everyone who contributes, I try to give a shout out because I'm so grateful for the fact that you guys would step up and even contribute in any way that I want to make sure that everyone gets recognition for what they're doing. Okay? So, thanks in advance to anyone who considers contributing. We actually have some goals in effect for tips. If I raise $50 in tips today, I'll put on some Gunner glasses. If we raise $100, I'll put on a vest of your choice. Now, yesterday, we did not hit the tips goal on the late stream of Immortals Phoenix Rising. I cried several hours because of this. No, I did not. However, that means today, all vests would be eligible except for the platinum because we did hit the tips goal on the earlier stream and I wore the platinum vest. So today it's beige, blue, red, camouflaged, or gray. Those would be the 5 colors of vest that are eligible to be worn today. Okay? And I certainly hope that you guys would, if you can, that is, that you would contribute and, help me out today. Thank you in advance to anyone who does. All right? Now, we do have a silly thing in effect. And being that today is a big premiere day, maybe people will be in positive spirits and this could possibly happen today. I doubt it. If we somehow double the tips goal, then I will put on 2 vests at once. First, you guys will vote on a vest for the $100 tips goal. And then if we double that, we'll vote again for the other vest. And I'll wear 2 vests at once. Will this happen? Unlikely. Unlikely. Okay? But we'll see what happens here today anyway. Having a premiere of a big game. People are excited. Perhaps people will be in good spirits, and we'll see what happens. Okay? All right, now, a couple things, folks. First of all, I am looking out for you guys. I want you guys to be protected from malicious activities on the internet. And therefore, I strongly recommend a few things to help you protect yourselves online. First of all, if you're going to be here and you're going to be a regular stream chatter, a regular viewer of my content, and if you think you're going to contribute in any way, I strongly recommend that you guys diversify your online persona here on Twitch from anything else that you do. First of all, don't use your real name. Oh my God, that's the worst idea possible. Don't use your real life name as your name here on Twitch. But in addition, don't use a name you use anywhere else. if you have a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, a TikTok, a MySpace, a Friendster account, don't use your names from those as your name on Twitch. Okay? Why? Sadly, there are people out there with no lives who just find a way to attach themselves to other people in negative ways. Oh, this person rubbed me the wrong way. I'm going to harass them everywhere now. And if your name's the same everywhere, they're going to go to your other accounts and they're going to harass you there. All right? And that's the last thing that you want. So make sure that no one will be able to associate what you say and do here on Twitch with anything else that you're doing on the internet to avoid online harassment. Okay? In addition, going hand in hand with that, I strongly recommend that you turn off opened direct messages here on Twitch. Open direct messages are just an open door for trolling activities. Most people who see that someone has open direct messages usually will harass them and do stupid shit. They'll spam you with nonsense, try to get you to click links. It's bad stuff. I personally shut down my open direct messages a long time ago. I made it so that only people on my friends list on Twitch can send me direct messages, and it has worked wonders. So I recommend that you guys do exactly the same thing. Okay? Fair enough? All right. Now, one more thing. If you guys are planning on tipping me today, all right, I have to request the following. It's very important for myself, for the safety of my business. Please create a verified PayPal account. And here's why. When you make a verified PayPal account, you link your real-life identification information to it. Whether it's a bank account or other ID info, you're basically proving that you're a real human on this planet and you're not someone impersonating someone else and you're not someone who's trying to basically make stuff up to get away with fraud on the internet. Why this is a big deal is because over the course of the last 6 months, I have received an incredible amount of fake tips, meaning people who go on the internet and buy stolen credit cards, okay? Then they come and they tip me and pretend like it's real. A lot of the times they'll come in here and they'll impersonate other stream chatters who are regular contributors. They try to fool me into thinking that it's them, all right? Then, all of a sudden, I get charged back for all these contributions, meaning not only do I lose them after the fact, but then I get hit with fees and penalties, and it hurts me overall in my business because these things happen, okay? There were days in the fall, no exaggeration, it looked like I was making hundreds of dollars a day on tips. In reality, I was losing money overall those days because there was so much fraud that was being committed against me. Excuse me. So in the last month or so, I had to institute changes to try to curtail this kind of fraud. Some of the changes that I put in have been incredibly effective and stopped a lot of it, but it's not foolproof. There's still ways that people find ways to slip through the cracks and do fake tips. So, if you create a verified PayPal account, I know that when you're tipping me, you're a real supporter of me, and you're trying to help out, and I can trust your tip immediately. Because when you're verified, that's your real life info. You can't commit fraud because then they could come after you legally for committing fraud. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're actually putting yourself at legal risk if you have a verified PayPal account and then you would try to charge me back or do something messed up. All right? So, it makes me know that I can trust your tip, and it makes the stream move a lot more smoothly than, say, a tip coming in. I'm like, oh, I got to verify this tip. Hold on, everyone. I got to go into my PayPal. We got to delay the stream, break the immersion of what we're doing to verify this tip. It's a fucking nightmare. It is. It's a pain in the ass. Instead of just being smooth moving and having a good time with these contributions coming in, instead I got to waste so much time trying to verify them. And the worst is when I'm like, damn, is someone in the stream chat? Can I verify who they are? It sucks ass. Okay? So, please, if you are considering tipping me as a way of support, which I really appreciate because it helps me so much, please create a verified PayPal account if you can. Now, I have another recommendation, and this one actually was come up with by a stream viewer and frequent supporter of mine in the last week or so. If you're someone who's going to tip me, and you do it a lot, or you do it frequently enough where I recognize your name, you could create a word that's a code word so I know it's really you. And if I see that code word over and over, I'm going to know that's someone that's trustworthy because you probably have a verified PayPal account and I know it's the same person. So, for example, let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to pull a name out of the stream. Young Remy. Let's say Young Remy wants to tip me. And he tips me and he says, hey, Phil, this is Young Remy. I just want to say have a good morning. And I really am looking forward to your playthrough today. And the code word is blah. Oh, okay. I recognize that because there's a code. The code word's in there. I know that's the real person. And there'll only be between you and me. There's no one else. Anyone else could know that code word. to say that. You see what I'm saying? So there's about 3 people right now who've started doing this practice, and it's worked really well. Where the tip comes in, I'm like, oh, I recognize the code word. I know it's legit. You know, this is perfect. You know, no problem here in recognizing these people, and it works out tremendously. So if you are someone, and by the way, no, Young Remy did not tip me. I just used that as an example. I pulled that name out of the chat. Okay? So don't harass him. He didn't actually do that. But anyway, yeah, I strongly recommend using this as well. Verified PayPal account, using a code word. These are great practices that'll let the streams move more smoothly and let us all enjoy ourselves instead of worrying about verification of everything. Okay? Good stuff? Okay. Very nice. All right, guys. So, that's it for my baloney. I'm done with the baloney. We can now move on to the salami. No, we can move on to the shout-outs. This is the segment where I give shout-outs to you. All right? I say thank you for your contributions. So, first of all, overnight, someone by the name of Jim Rayner sent me a couple of tips, which is very appreciated. So the first thing he says is, I'm glad you're finally playing Divinity Original Sin 2. Make sure to use all the free DLC. Awesome devs. I guess he's saying it's awesome that the devs gave free DLC. Play on classic mode the way he's... Oh, here we go again. All right. I'm just going to say this up front. Whatever the default mode is I'm playing, I don't give a fuck. All right? I just don't give a fuck. I don't care about your personal opinion of what your preferred mode is. I'm not playing on Insano Challenge mode where you play it and all your characters have no pants on and enemies run up with paddles and just slap their asses and balls constantly in pain while you're trying to play the game. No. I'm playing the default mode. I don't give a fuck. I'm not even going to entertain the notion that someone is going to try to lay down ground rules for me on how it's a valid playthrough. It's a franchise I've never played. I don't know anything about it. I'm going in cold turkey. I'm playing it on default settings. If you don't like that, I don't care. Too bad. So don't sit here and tell me, you're not doing it right. You're supposed to do this. Oh my God, he didn't tweak his armor set with the offset of this and that. And he was supposed to do it on classic. He's not doing classics. It's not a real playthrough. I don't care. I don't care. So shut up. I don't care. Now fuck off. There you go. Enough is enough with this bullshit. I mean it. I just don't give a fuck anymore. So many people are like this, and then they try to say that when I play a game it's not valid. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'll do what I want, and if you don't like it, I don't care. So, you already had the ability in the past to be civil about this stuff. People are not civil with me anymore. They're just dicks, so I just don't care. Alright? Now, let's continue reading what Jim Rayner had to say, because he's trying to explain what the difference is with classic mode, so let's read it. He says... he actually said, pretend that the black cat in the game is Jasper, have fun. And in his second tip, he basically explained, so classic mode, he says, to put this in perspective, I selected it on my first playthrough. It became fairly easy for me once I learned the abilities, attributes, skills, and talents. You've played tactical RPGs like XCOM and Fire Emblem before, which will greatly help you. Well, it's good to know that at least some games that I've played will help. I mean, XCOM I played like 10 years ago, or I take that back, 9 years ago, because it was like 2012, 2013. It was a long time ago. I don't remember much about it, and I never even beat it because it got too difficult. Okay? Fire Emblem, yes, absolutely Fire Emblem I beat, but if you noticed, I played it on easier mode. I did not play it on the hardest challenging mode. So, no, I'm not going to put in a fucking ultra challenging mode for some reason. Classic mode. You know what that means? It means you're playing the classic mode from the first game because you played the first game. I didn't play the first game. I'm playing whatever the default is, and if people don't like that, I'm sorry, I don't care. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us get to people who contributed during today's live stream. We start off with Toxic Tex, who did a 500-bit cheers. Can we do this again today? I mean, we very well could. This will obviously make you the top tipper of today so far. Tipper, excuse me. This will make you the top cheerer of the day so far. My bad. Thank you for the 500-bit cheer there, Toxic Tex. 500 bits to get the cheering started today, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Saitama 2246 resub for 6 months and says, after watching many of your Ask the King vids, I'm actually wondering, how do you become so good at public speaking and talking on the fly without a script? Well, it's funny. First of all, I had to get used to talking in front of audiences. How did I do that? Through public speaking that was scripted. So when I was growing up in school, frequently, whether it was in front of a group of people reading something, for example, there was a contest where you had to give a speech, and I was part of that contest when I was in elementary school, and mine was about Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There was also church, because I grew up in a Catholic school, and so when you went to church, sometimes they would choose you to be the person who would read a scripture or something during a mass, and I was frequently chosen as the person who would go up there and read stuff during mass. So I had public speaking experience through school, okay? As I got older, high school, university, all that stuff, you have to go in front of groups and you have to talk. And I kind of got used to it through that. Now, going hand in hand with that, in the 1990s, Street Fighter II became popular. And Street Fighter II was very heavily reliant on having the ability to perform in front of a group because you were there in front of a group of players, right? It wasn't like you were sitting at home playing behind a TV anonymously. You had to be there in person playing a game on an arcade cabinet. So you had to throw away any kind of nervousness that you would get playing in front of a group of people. And by the way, it wasn't easy. Sometimes you play and you get heckled. Oh, you suck. Look at that. You fell for that. You suck. You know, that was part of the experience of arcades. It really was. And you had to toughen up and you had to basically get nerves of steel in order to not only play a game competitively in front of people who are sitting there watching as you play, but also to put up with the heckling and the like, okay? So I attribute it to early on in my life, in elementary school and school in general, I actually was involved in things that was public speaking, but then later on with Street Fighter, it became like, man, you really got to perform in front of a lot of people in order to do well. Now, of course, later on, I had to play Street Fighter at a much higher level and competitions. That's even worse, because now not only is it just the 5-10 people in line watching you, but now you potentially have dozens, if not 100 or more people at a tournament watching you play at a high level, right? And again, competition, big stakes, sometimes prizes on the line, shit-talking rights, everything. You have to have solid nerves. You can't get nervous being in front of a group of people, public speaking, all right? Now, in regards to YouTube in particular, and of course, live streaming and me interacting and being able to talk on the fly, it all came in time. When I started this back in 2008, it wasn't easy, being honest with all of you. If you noticed back then, I was a YouTuber, not a live streamer. So for me, it was more like, okay, I sit down and I record in front of a camera. I'm not really nervous because there's no one live watching me do this. I know if I screw this up, I could always just refilm it. But in reality, I started calling myself One Take Phil. I would just sit down and do Ask the King and just on the fly answer questions because I got good at it over time. It took a while, it took a couple years, but after me doing it frequently enough, once I started doing things like answering questions and having interact channel updates and things like that I used to do, I got used to talking on the fly and talking about a variety of subjects and coming up with answers, right away in reaction to what you guys were saying and doing versus, sit there and script this out and read word for word everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how I am. That's definitely not who I am as a person over the last decade. Are you kidding me? Like, can you imagine me being a live streamer who couldn't even answer a question live? Good Lord. So, it's just something that grew over time. It's just something that comes naturally once you practice. Trust me, I didn't immediately start talking and have no problems and was able to answer everything. That's not how it was. It was a lifetime of experience combined with then me practicing over time back in the day on YouTube. Okay? Excuse me. Gone Salis has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Gone Salis, for the subscription. I appreciate that. Snow Carl, we subscribed for 7 months, and thanks for picking me up from the 6th circle of hell and allowing me to return to the stream. Much appreciated. Very nice. Thank you for the resub, Snow Carl. Star St. Mark has resub for 6 months. Thank you, Star St. Mark. I appreciate that very much. Random Game Roulette did a 100-bit cheer. Said, as a longtime fan, I love seeing long JRPGs. Feels like an epic adventure. There you go. And today we start our 10-month journey with Divinity Original Sin 2. 10 months. I predict we will finish Divinity Original Sin 2 right before Christmas 2021. We'll be sitting here. I'll be in festive holiday attire, Christmas decorations around me, sipping on a nice warm hot cocoa, and you know, we'll all have nice big belly laughs at the holiday fun, and I'll finish the game. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. All right, very nice. Let's continue on. Snowcrawl cheers is that you're a fairly devout Roman Catholic. Oh, definitely devout. You think you'll have a moral and theological obligation to tithe between 2 to 3% of your income? Yes. See, that's what people don't realize. At least 15 to 20% of my income goes right to the church, of course, every single day. Right. He said, will you consider giving 50% of your tips from one stream to different charities? Oh, here's the thing. It's all church. It has to go right to the church, no matter what. It goes right to the church. In fact, you know, the Pope, I paid for half the Pope mobile. I don't know if you guys know that. All right, but being more serious here, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I will say this, and I hope that you'll take this to heart. I'm not just speaking about myself right now. I'm speaking about all content creators in general, all right? It's none of your business what any of them spend money on, just being honest. Like, once you contribute to anyone who's a content creator, it's up to them to determine where the money goes. Now, if someone's doing a special event that they claim is a fundraiser for a special cause or something that they're actually trying to do that's important, that's a little different. If they're going out of their way and they're saying, yes, what I raised today directly is going towards this, that's different than what I'm trying to say here. But the point I'm trying to make is as follows. Everyone out there is different. Everyone out there has different beliefs. Everyone out there has different things that they stand for. And a content creator has the right behind the scenes to do stuff with that, whether it's considered charity or whatever. That's up to them, all right? And no one really should have the ability to sit there and criticize them for it or ask them about it, because that's private stuff. For me, and I've always said this my whole life, charity is a private thing. For me, if I'm going to give to a charitable cause, I don't want people to know that it's me who gave to that charitable cause, because I would rather have it be anonymous and know that what I'm doing is helping someone without me somehow getting some kind of a positive spin or a personal gain out of it. Okay? That's why years ago, when things were going on, like the Ice Bucket Challenge, I said, listen, all right, getting awareness of a disease is one thing, but the 99% of people who were doing that were doing it for clout. They all just wanted to look like good guys and good girls on the internet, trying to help out. Did they really? It was bullshit. Like, if you actually support it, just donate. You don't have to fucking dump a bucket of ice on your fucking head and act like that's doing anything. Because it didn't. It was, oh, look how I'm clout chasing. Because I'm doing the good thing everyone else is doing too. Now everyone kiss today's my turn to get my ass kissed. Right? It was bullshit. So, if you actually care about something so much, then just do it. Go volunteer your time at a soup kitchen. Go help the homeless. Donate money to causes. And don't fucking talk about it all day. Just do it and move on. Then you actually are being charitable because you're not seeking your ass being kissed by people because you did something good. But the thing that really irks me is these major corporations who they do all this charity work, but then they have to actually pretend like, oh my God, look at all the charitable work our corporation does. We don't need to tell me that. Just do it, because then it shows that you care. The fact that you're trying to get people to like you as a result of you doing something charitable means that you're just being completely dishonest about it to begin with. You're not being charitable, you're being self-serving. All right? So, you will never hear me talking on stream about this cause or that cause, right? I just don't do that. All right? I don't play that game. Charity work is meant to be kept private, and for those who do it and behind the scenes and never get clout for it, congratulations, you figured it out. You know what it really means to be a good person versus someone who's just trying to look good. Okay? All right. Moving on. Random Game Roulette Cheers says, don't listen to the trolls who shit on it. This is what real fans want. All right. Fair enough. Thank you, Random Game Roulette. SPB Original. Start up the tipping today with a $4.20 tip, so let's get him up on the leaderboard. Okay. Very nice. And he says, Phil, I finally got my water back this morning. The first thing I did was took a massive dump. Very excited for the 10-month RPG. All right. For those who don't know, SPB Original had no working utilities because of the crazy stuff going on down in Texas. And it sounds like people are finally getting back to normal down there, thank God. So, glad to hear that, SPB, and thank you for the support. Snow Carl, thank you for the cheer. It's none of my business. Then we got someone whose name's Swollen Phallus and cheered a bunch and thinks that I'm actually going to read his name and his messages. I'm not. So, thanks for the cheers, but man, you're stupid. Change your name if you want me to take you seriously. Ninstar Rune cheers says, would it be worse? It could be worse. You could always be the Mother series, which Nintendo pretends doesn't exist at all. So I guess what he's talking about is Zelda. Zelda's Anniversary that Nintendo ignored. Yeah, it sucks because the Mother series is great. You know, Earthbound is basically Mother 2. And apparently all the games in that series are quite good. But I've only ever played Mother 2. Like, you're right. They don't really take it seriously. They don't really talk about it. They don't promote it. Where's the new Mother? There is none. And I hear you, guy. It sucks because that series is great. Frog in a Party Hat. Cheery says, don't you think it's unfair for a vest to be ineligible? No. Let's move on. Snow Carl Cheery says, I think you should shout out his mod team on his stream, especially the loyal ones keeping trolls at bay on a daily basis. Well, there you go. Thank you to my mod team, who come from different walks of life, who definitely, you know, have different availabilities. The thing that I like about my mod team is that they'll swing in, they'll help out, and they have to put up with a lot of shit a lot of times. They get online harassment from the trolls because they don't like it that the mods would actually, like, enforce the rules. But they do a great job with the time that they're here. I don't force them to be here or anything anytime. You know, they come in of their own volition to help out. And they do their best with the time that they're here. So, thank you to my mod team for doing a good job. Polish Fraga, subscribe for 15 months and never change, DSP. Alright, thank you, Polish Fraga, for a 15-month resub. Noxiana 2, cheers. His classic mode is the default mode. They're telling you not to play it on easy mode. As I said, I'm going to play the game on default mode. Whatever the default mode is, that's what I'm playing. If it's not default, I'm not doing it. I don't care what you're saying right now. I didn't say I wasn't going to play it on default mode. I said I'm playing it on default mode, and I don't care about anyone else's opinion. So, that was pretty pointless. Frog in a Party Hat has cheered and says classic mode is the default mode. Why do you have to be so nasty to Jim Raynor? I was not nasty to Jim Raynor. At all. I was matter of fact. There's a difference between matter of fact, honest, and kissing someone's ass. I guess what it is you're one of those special snowflakes. What you'd like me to do is to kiss your butt. Alright, Frog in a Party Hat, I'm so sorry. Here, listen, I'm going to play the mode you like because oh, I'm so sorry. Did I say something in the wrong way? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, there, you happy now? Okay. Ninstar Rune Charity says, Halo 4 has 4 difficulties. Easy, normal, heroic, and legendary. The game's balanced around heroic. And the game even says that heroic is the way the game is intended to be played. Would you play on normal even though normal is easy? I would play on whatever the default selection is. Whatever the cursor is on when you boot the game. Because that's the game dev telling you this is default. That's the whole point of what the word default means. It's what it falls to without inputs is default. So if we intended it to be played on heroic, then they fucked up when they made it go to normal when you booted the game, and that's the game dev's fault. They made a mistake. Cult Leader. Get it? Cult Leader. Cheered and said, very excited for Divinity Original Sin 2 today. Shout out to that Anonymous, King Goken, Eternal Napalm, and the rest of the mod team who aren't even here today. Well, not everyone can be here every day. That's okay. Let's see here. That Anonymous cheered. He says, the project lead of Hitman 3 said the intention was for people to default to playing a level many times to learn the best way to approach situations. Is it fair to say this is less about the dev's intended default and more about the gamer's obstinate notion of normal equals default as a rule? Well, I think that different games have different kinds of gameplay. With Hitman, I completely agree that one of the most fun ways to experience the Hitman franchise is to play through the same stage over and over and find more fun and creative ways to assassinate the targets. Just playing it through once, you may not get the optimal experience. Now, some people say, I beat it once, I'm done. That's their choice to do so. Absolutely. But if you're someone who wants to get the most bang for your buck, and certainly in a franchise like that, if you're someone who actually wants to find out the more creative things about a game, then going back and replaying it may be the way to go about it. For me, like, I respect the fact that the devs put in so many different ways to kill, And usually when as you saw when I did my Hitman 3 playthrough, what I tried to do was take ample time to walk around and see the different ways that you could go about killing the people so that you know you have options. Okay? And then I would try to choose the one that I felt was the most creative one out of all of them. Like, for example, the first stage of Hitman 3, there's probably about 5 major ways you could kill the 2 targets. Now, the game was steering you towards 1 or 2. I completely ignored those, and I personally found different ways to do it outside of that, and I found those more fulfilling, you see? And I think that's what the game devs intended. Yes, here's a way that we'll do a little tutorial walkthrough to help you figure out how to do it, but there's other ways to do it, and if you want to branch out and do more creative stuff, you can, you see? That's why you can beat Hitman games in very short amount of time, but also you could take your time and do an incredibly long run as well, you see? But that's different. That's not what we're talking about when it comes to these default difficulties and the like. That's a completely different situation and different style of game. So, Timbo Slice Cheers. So what's my opinion on Twisted Metal getting its own TV show? I have no idea how that would work. I did hear on the rumor on the internet today that it's happening. But I really don't know how that would translate. I guess we'd have to see. That Anonymous cheered again. He said, I thought people called you that because you take 1 shot of booze before every take. That's right. 1 shot, Phil. No, that wouldn't make sense because then it would be multiple shots, Phil, because I'm drinking so many. Elon Just cheers. What's your favorite part about being a content creator? Is it the fact you create hundreds of hours of amazing gameplay for your fans every year? I would say, geez, I don't think there's one definitive thing that's the best. I would say number one of the things that definitely I love is that people tell me every single day that what I do is meaningful to them. And especially for those who have kind of been around for a while, and like, wow, I watch your stuff and it helps me unwind, helps me relax during a stressful day. When I'm not in a good mood, I come and I watch your stuff and it cheers me up. That makes me feel good that I'm not just some dickhead on the internet fucking around on stream all day, that I'm actually doing something meaningful to people. Whether or not I intend it or I design it that way, it just turns out that way. And that's a good thing, that what I do has meaning for a lot of people, okay? But also the fact that I get to hang out with you guys, have fun social interactions every day, and we have fun doing what my job is, all right? There are other jobs that I used to do that I didn't have an iota of fun doing. 0. It was just like torture all day, but hey, that's your job. You get paid for it, right? I actually have fun doing my job, which most people cannot say, and I'm grateful for that. So I would say those are probably the 2 favorite parts of being a content creator. Mike Tuca has resubscribed for 2 months. It says, if you could shorten intros a little, we could have more gameplay. That is correct, Mike Tuca. Great observation. Shout out to Xenacak, who has now subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Xenacak, for the sub. I appreciate that. Steven Seagull is here. He cheers that, wouldn't you have a happier life if you sold out a little bit and now we need to worry about cheers and tips? Happier is relative. It's a relative term, okay? It really is. If I made more money, would I be more comfortable? Yes, because I wouldn't have to worry about, like for example, right now, in the next few weeks, I have to raise enough money to pay my tax guy to do my taxes for this year. And it's going to be a lot of money. So that's money that normally would go to other things, and now I have to just pay it to him, and things are going to be tight, and there's nothing I could do about it. That's my life. If I made more money, then I probably wouldn't worry about that. I'd be able to say, oh, let me go into my nice deep wallets from shilling product every day on my stream and slap you with the money you need to pay my taxes right away, and here we go. All right? I don't have that liberty. I don't. I just don't have that liberty to do that stuff. But every day that I'm here, I'm having fun and genuine interactions with you guys. You don't have to hear me sit here and shill products. You don't have to see me play games. And you're like, why is Phil playing this fucking game? I never heard of it before. And why is he kissing its ass the whole stream? Oh, another paid advertisement stream from Phil so he can make extra money, right? You don't have to put up with that shit. Instead, you just get cool stuff every day, right? So that's, it goes hand in hand. And the thing is, I really feel that so many people support me the way they do because of who I am. Because I'm not the paid shill. You know? So I really do feel like it goes hand in hand. Now, this is hilarious. Basically, Steven Seagull is saying all those streamers, thought streamers or whatever you want to call them, are they considered charities? I mean, no. A charity is a non-for-profit organization where what you're saying is when you contribute to a charity, that company is not supposed to be in operation for the sole purpose of paying employees and making profit. It's supposed to be the majority of what's submitted to them goes to the good cause, and then maybe after the fact, just from maintaining its own internal structure, things pay off inside the company to keep it running, you see? But a charity primarily is supposed to be helping others and passing that money along to those who are the most needy for it. While any streamer, any content creator is not a charity. Whether they say, oh, donations, it's actually not. When you're giving money to a content creator, it's never a donation. Donation implies that it's going to something that's non-for-profit. Any content creator is not a non-for-profit. They are all for-profit, including me. All right? Just being honest here. I'll tell you like it is. So, anyway, oh, thanks for the donation. Nope, there's no donations on a stream. You just sent them a tip. You just paid them for a service. You didn't just send them money for no reason. That's not what they're saying it is. They're categorizing it wrong. Why they're doing that, I have no idea. I think maybe people, I'm going to send a donation to someone versus I'm going to tip someone. Oh, the donation sounds better. Sounds like I'm doing something good. Well, you're not. You're giving profit to someone, right? You're saying, oh, you've provided me a service that I feel is warranted enough or good enough that I want to pay you for it so you continue to provide me with that service. That's not, I'm giving you money so that you can pass it along to someone who needs it because they're needy. That's not the case. Okay? At all. So one moment someone says donation, they're lying. It's dishonest. Okay? But no, anyone who's making content, no. That is not a charity at all. That is not a donation at all. Absolutely not. And if they're saying it that way, that's completely dishonest, and they're probably trying to do it to make more money, which is completely immoral. Noxina2 cheers that if you tell people about charities you support, you're being self-serving and clout chasing. Seriously? Well, yeah. Yes. The only exception to the rule here that I would give a pass for, all right, is if someone is actually doing it like a charity drive and they're using their notoriety or their celebrity to try to get people to donate to a particular cause that they feel is useful. Because if that's the case, for example, a content creator runs a 100% charity stream. Every piece of contribution during that stream goes to the good cause. All right. Does that give that content creator or streamer some clout? Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. It makes them look good. But at the same time, that may be the only opportunity that they could get some people to try to contribute to a good cause. So in that case, I see it as the lesser of two evils. I'd rather have the charity event happen and have the money go to the good cause, and then that person gets some positivity out of it, rather than it not happening at all and no money goes to the good cause. You see what I'm saying? So in that case, I kind of give a pass. But someone who's just going to sit around, like, for example, I'll give you the perfect example here. WWE. They are one of the most infamously bad companies when it comes to doing charity and then shoving it down your fucking throat constantly because they want to look like a good company that cares, when in reality, the reason they're doing the charity is so that they don't look like shitheads. Because they do a lot of underhanded, fucked up things in regards to their talent that makes it public. And oh, quick, brush that under the rug. Look, we're part of the Stop Bullying campaign. Look, we're part of the Komen for the Cure campaign. Look, we have the Heroes campaign and this and that. And they shove that shit down your throat. Constantly. They shove that shit down your throat. All right? It's so bad. It's like, dude, I thought I'm watching a wrestling show. Why were there 3 different segments during the show about charity? You know? That's like completely, utterly done to show that they're just trying to look good. It's so transparently ridiculous that they try to even spin it as anything else. Okay? So, that's all I have to say about that. That's the difference. Okay? Snorlax Charity says the ALS thing was a bad example. They started the whole donation campaign for the Ice Bucket Challenge and they raised enough and blah, blah, blah. All right. The Ice Bucket Challenge ultimately panned out to do something very good. The money went to basically do all kinds of cures, and I don't know if it necessarily cured ALS, but they basically said that yes, tons of research was done, and it basically very much advanced the cause to the point where it looked like that thing ended up overall helping tons, right? That doesn't change the fact of what I said. The vast majority of people who did the Ice Bucket Challenge were looking for clout. That's what they did it for. Oh, I can actually look good like everyone else who's virally doing this, and oh, I can maybe help a good cause along the way. Oh, I'll do it. Sorry. You want to know who the real heroes were? The people who donated and didn't do an ice bucket challenge. Who just donated. I want to help with ALS. I don't need recognition. Here, I'll help out. Those are the people who are the real charitable people. Not the jackasses who did a fucking stunt on camera to make themselves look good. Sorry. That's just the truth. Timbo Slice Cheery says, what things have changed in Disney World and Universal Studios in Florida from now when you were a kid? How on earth would I know? Well, first of all, I've never even been to Disney at any length. I walked into Disneyland for about an hour back in the early 2000s, and we didn't do anything, so I don't even know. And Universal, they did get rid of a few rides. For example, they repurposed the Back to the Future ride to become the Simpsons ride. They completely got rid of the Jaws ride, which sucks. I thought the Jaws ride was good. But outside of that, I couldn't tell you. I haven't been there in a million years, man. Maybe someday. I certainly can't answer that now. All right, Charles2393 has done a 200-bit cheer. Said, hey, it's been 3 months since I last stopped by. How's everything going? Going good. Things are going good. Having fun with streams. Having a good time. Everything's going smoothly. And I look forward to starting up this game people have been waiting for a very long time today. Steven Seagull cheers. I bought a house. Any advice for a first-time homeowner? I've already answered this a lot of times. But first-time homeowner, many different things to think about. Security system, safety when it comes to, depending on who you live with, but having chemicals and things stored in the right place. Keeping track of all your bills is a huge one for a homeowner because you're going to have utility bills coming in along with the mortgage, along with all these other things. You have to have a system in place to make sure that you're keeping track of all your bills and you're paying them all on time. But I'm not going to sit here on the pre-stream and talk about this forever. That's a subject for Ask the King, not for a pre-stream. Oh, let's see here. You're right, I said it wrong. Someone named Dixon cheered says, I said cold turkey incorrectly. He's right. Going into a game cold turkey is incorrect. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say going in cold. When you go into a game cold, it means you have not had any prerequisite knowledge of what's going to happen in that game. You never played it before. You didn't read any walkthroughs. You didn't read any major spoilers. You really don't know what to expect. You're going in cold. Not cold turkey. I said cold turkey wrong. That's incorrect. Okay. All right. Let's just get rid of this guy now. I've had enough of this fucking idiot with the terrible name. He's out of here. DJ CTE resubscribed for 10 months. Thank you, DJ CTE, for the ongoing support. I appreciate that. Random Game Roulette cheers. So what do you think about a Twisted Metal TV show on Netflix? I just said I don't know what to think about that. We don't have any information about it. Randall, let's see here. Randall cheers says, do you think it's better to donate $1,000 to charity and advertise it, or never donate to charity and you don't advertise it? I mean, they're equal. They're equal. One is done purely for clout chasing. The other, you just didn't do anything. So, they're equal. Real charity is giving and not advertising it at all, just doing the right thing. In my opinion. Other people could completely disagree. But I think true charity, you do the right thing, you don't get anything out of it. Jacket Thug cheered. He says, have you ever been milked? That's disgusting. Why the fuck are you asking me that? Why would you even ask that on a stream? In fact, you know what? Fuck this guy. It's disgusting and you're out of here. I don't even care. Goodbye. Cult Leader cheered. He said, are you going to Universal Japan for Super Nintendo World or waiting for the expanded version in the US with Donkey Kong, Zelda, Pokemon? Well, first of all, there's absolutely no way we're going anywhere. COVID is not even close to being over. We're talking at this point another year or more, it looks like, before we can even get to a situation where open world travel is even permitted. So the answer to that question is nothing. Zero, not going anywhere. Nothing's open. It can't go anywhere. All right? Now, if the world ever gets back to semi-normal, which at this point, I don't know if it ever will, but if it does, it looks like we're still going to be wearing masks for the rest of our lives. Isn't that delightful? But anyway, if the world ever gets back to semi-normal, and world travel is allowed again, certainly I would love to go to Japan with my wife for like a vacation, and one of the things we might want to do when we're there is go to Universal Japan for Super Mario World, Super Nintendo World, excuse me. But you're right. They're also building those resorts in the U.S. as well. They apparently have already begun production in Florida, and they're also gearing up to do it in Universal Studios Hollywood. So it looks like it's going to be everywhere. Like, video games have gone so mainstream that now they realize this big business is going to bring in tons of money. So they're just going to start building video game related things at these places too. Okay? So, that being said, if we were lucky enough to be able to have a vacation to Japan and afford it, which I don't know if we ever will because it'd be insanely expensive, absolutely that might be one of the things we want to do. But considering the fact that there will also be these same exact things, or if not better, in the United States, maybe we'll just do it in the States, right? But the thing is, there's really no reason to talk about that shit because we have no idea what's going to happen right now with everything, so. All right. Alfred Aponte is here and tipped me $2.33 and says, I hope you enjoy your day off tomorrow. Thank you very much, Alfred. I appreciate that very much, and thank you for the tip. Only the second tip of the day. We're at $6 in tips so far. Tie Me Up has resub for 25 months. Thank you, Tie Me Up, for the resub. Then Anonymous cheered and said, can you roleplay banning me for being a shithead? Like, damn it, Anani, that's too much. Fuck this guy. No, because you're not like that, and I would never do that. Jadef cheered to start the game. No more talk. Sorry. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have to give shout-outs to the top cheerers of the day. And I say that because today is Monday and the cheering reset overnight. So thank you to those who've cheered so far. We got Timbo Slice, Noxiana 2, Frog in a Party Hat tied for 8th place. We've got Ninstar Rune in 7th. Dat Anonymous, Steven Seagull, and Snowcarl tied for 4th. We got Charles, 2393 in 3rd. Random Game Roulette in 2nd. And Toxic Tex in 1st place. Thank you guys very much. In addition, we have no one who's gifted a subscription. No gifted subs so far. Okay? So, no one to shout out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, looks like it's time. Looks like pre-stream's over. Alright, let us now take a break. I'm going to go use the restroom quickly. I recommend you grab a drink or a snack. Use the restroom yourself, whatever it is you need to do during this quick break. When I come back, it's the premiere of Divinity Original Sin 2. Thank you guys for being patient. I can't wait to see what this game holds in store, considering it's been such a long anticipation to start it. We'll finally find out today. I have no idea what we're going to see here. Alright? So thank you guys. I will see you after the break for Divinity 2's premiere. See you in a few. Alright.